guys? Mike Olson here along with my partner Justin Moody. We are the Moody Olson team. We are here to bring you the next in our series of Vegas versus videos. And today, you saw it in the title, you saw it in the thumbnail. We're doing Vegas versus Los Angeles, California. So you guys know, if you've seen our Vegas versus series before, what we do here is we compare Las Vegas to another city, in this case Los Angeles, across 6 different metrics, because what we want to do is we want to make sure that you have the information that you need in order to make an informed decision. Whether you are debating between moving to one of these 2 different cities, or if you live in one of these cities and you're thinking about moving to the other, or vice versa, we want to go over a lot of the things that we think that you're going to need to know in order to make that decision. The things that we compare in these videos are, we talk about the cost of living, we talk about the housing market, we talk about the job market, the crime rates, entertainment and nightlife, and outdoor living and activities. So we try to give you a comprehensive overview. And I like to remind you guys, the point of these videos is not to say that one city is better than the other. It's to give you the information so you can determine which city is right for you. So with that being said, let's get right into it. I'm going to throw it over here to my partner, Justin, who's going to start us off talking about the
housing market. I mean, we're realtors, right?
Talking about the housing market.
Talk about the housing market.
Absolutely.
It's probably not a big surprise. The Los Angeles housing market versus the Las Vegas housing market going to be vastly different in price. There is a reason why so many people from Southern California are moving to Las Vegas.
There's several reasons why.
Yes, but this is going to be one of those driving factors. The average listing price in the Los Angeles, the greater Los Angeles area, so that's going to encompass not just Los Angeles, but several other smaller cities around it, $1.2 million.
That's steep.
That is steep. Now the average sales price is about $1 million. So you're still looking at a massive number. That's actually up about 2.5% from 2022. And those are 2023 numbers, let me be clear on that, and that was from Realtor.com. So that's about 2.5% up from 2022, so the prices continue to grow. The inventory in Los Angeles is about 2.7 months. So if you don't understand when we say that what's the inventory, that means that if every home sold on the market right now, it would take about 2.7 months for there to be 0 homes on the market. So that really equates to it still being a seller's market in the Los Angeles area. Now, the types of homes that you're going to be able to get in Los Angeles are going to be greatly varied.
And vastly different.
Vastly different. You'll definitely have more options in the Los Angeles area. But again, you're going to get a lot more for your money in the Las Vegas area. And I'll let Mike talk about that when we get to that point. Las Vegas, you're looking at an average median income price of $450,000. The average list price right now is $490,000. The average sales price is $450,000. That's, again, 2023 numbers. And that's up about 3.7% from 2022. Our inventory is roughly the same. We're about 2.6 months inventory. So it's still a little bit of a seller's market here in Vegas as well. But don't worry, if you're thinking about moving to Las Vegas, Mike and I can definitely help you out. I think one of the big things that people don't realize is they leave Los Angeles to come to Las Vegas, they're limited on the type of house they can get.
Yeah, we have a much narrower range of home types available in our market compared to someplace like Los Angeles, which, I mean, let's face it, the city's well over 100 years old. So you're going to have homes that have been built, from various decades going back all the way to the early 1900s.
Correct. But unless you're looking for an extremely old home, which is, a very small niche or a house on the beach, I promise you we can compete with almost any other style of home here in the Las Vegas area. Waterfront homes, we got them. Horse properties, we got them. Homes with beautiful views sitting up on the mountain, we have them. If you like that downtown living in a high-rise, we have it. If you want that beautiful mansion, or you just want a great craftsman, a starter home or a family home and a great community, we can definitely meet you there as well too. So I would say that, the housing market, taking price aside, fairly even. But you put that price in there, Vegas is always going to win hands down. And I'll let Mike take over from there and talk about why Vegas is going to be more bang for your buck when it comes to your housing market.
Right, so we're going to move right into talking about the overall cost of living at this point in time. So I always use the NerdWallet cost of living calculator, and I appreciate the fact that they compare cost of living across several different metrics. So I'm going to go over some of those with you right now. First place I'm going to talk about, we're going to stay on the housing discussion, but we're actually going to talk about what it would cost to rent in those two areas, just to give you an idea of the variance. So according to NerdWallet, the housing costs in Los Angeles are 121% higher than the housing costs in Las Vegas. So what does that look like? If you're looking at renting a 2-bedroom apartment in Las Vegas, these are average numbers, of course. A 2-bedroom apartment in Las Vegas is going to run you about $1,627. That same 2-bedroom apartment in Los Angeles, $3,184.
Wow.
So you're talking roughly double to rent an apartment there in Los Angeles versus renting here in Las Vegas. And then talking about sales, I know Justin talked about the numbers big picture wise. NerdWallet uses a very specific example, so I'm going to give that to you guys. I know that our editors like to put those up on the screen for you as well. Just talking about a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. That's it. 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in Las Vegas. Average price $520,580. Same exact parameters in the Los Angeles area. 3-bedroom, 2-bath. $1.248,000. So you are talking a more than double increase in home price just for a 3-bedroom, which, let's face it, that is the most popular model of home. That's the most of what we sell. That's the most of what every real estate agent sells, unless you specialize in some specific niche. 3-bedroom, 2-bath is the bread and butter of the industry. And so it's very indicative of the difference between the two housing markets. And as you can see, a substantial difference. Now, that would be a little bit more acceptable if the income in Los Angeles could support that difference. But it really can't. Again, using the NerdWallet cost of living comparison tool, it tells us that if you make the median household income in Las Vegas of $66,400 and you move to Los Angeles, or you want to replicate that same standard of living in Los Angeles, you're going to need to make $99,196. However, according to the statistics that I was able to research, the actual median income for a household in Los Angeles is only $76,244. So
about $10,000 more than what they would make here in Las Vegas.
So the median income is $10,000 more, but the cost of living, you would need to make $99,000. So you're actually well short of making enough. If you make the median, you're well short of making the numbers that you need to make in order to replicate the same standard of living that you could have here in Las Vegas.
So, and I think you just kind of debunked the big myth, is that living in Vegas, I'm going to make a substantially less amount of money than I would if I kept my job in Los Angeles.
I mean, in some specific niches that may be true, but generally speaking, for the average worker, it's really not. It's not true. You're going to make about $10,000 a year more, which is actually going to make you come up about $20,000 a year short of what you need to live the same standard of living that you could live here in Las Vegas.
And that's not even taking out tax.
That's not even talking about taxes. We're not going to get into taxes. Listen, you guys have the internet, you have Google, you know what taxes in California are like, and if you don't, you can look it up. However, I can tell you right now, Nevada has no state income tax.
No state income tax.
So, you know, when it comes to cost of living, you really just can't compare the two. Just to go over a couple other metrics here, and I have my laptop just out of view of the camera, so you guys know I'm referring to some notes. I always want to make sure I give you guys the best information possible, so I don't leave this to my memory or to chance. Transportation costs, you're talking about 11% higher in Los Angeles, so $4.16 a gallon for gas here in Las Vegas versus $4.92 a gallon. Now those numbers are a little bit old, but it shows you the relative difference in gas prices. You're always going to pay 60 to 70 cents a gallon more in Los Angeles, and I find that to be true every single time that I travel down to Southern California to visit. I always make sure my tank is full before I leave Las Vegas, so that at most I only have to fill up once while I'm down there, and I try to make it back to Vegas before I fill up that second time.
So do you pull my move? Is when I go to leave California, I put just enough gas in to get me home?
Oftentimes I do. Yes, oftentimes I do. Food costs, you're talking about a difference of about 8% between Las Vegas and Los Angeles, with Los Angeles being higher, of course. So really, that's a relatively minor difference. The entertainment costs, though, you're talking about a difference of 36%. Again, Los Angeles being higher. And the examples they give here, Movie tickets in Las Vegas run about $13 a ticket, whereas Los Angeles, you're looking at over $19 a ticket. A yoga class, which the examples they give here, movie tickets, yoga class, and a 6-pack of beer. So the yoga class, you're looking at $16 for the class versus $22 for a class in Los Angeles. And for that 6-pack of Heineken, you're talking about $10 versus a little over $11 in Los Angeles. So just your day-to-day living is going to be more expensive. How much more expensive depends on what particular aspect of life you're referring to. Obviously, your food costs are kind of a wash, a little bit more expensive, but not significantly more, whereas your entertainment costs are going to be a bigger variance between the two places.
Well, and let's not forget though, in Los Angeles, it's also 10 cents per bag when you go to the grocery store if you don't have your bag. And if you add that 8% transportation to the, or the 11% transportation to the 8%, so now you're looking at 19%, and that's just getting to the grocery store.
Just getting to the grocery store. The last metric that we're going to talk about in this cost of living comparison is going to be healthcare. And again, Las Vegas is going to win that battle by a margin of about 22%. So cost of a doctor's visit in Los Angeles runs you $130 versus $110 in Las Vegas. Dental visit, same thing, $131 in Los Angeles, $96 in Las Vegas. And a cost of an optometrist visit, you're also talking $96 in Vegas and $144 in Los Angeles. So cost of living across the board is going to be higher in Los Angeles, but a big portion of that cost of living variance is going to be housing, which of course everybody needs housing. So that's where it's going to hit you the most if you choose to live in Los Angeles. So no need to beat a dead horse, guys. We knew going into this video that we were going to win this cost of living hands down. What I was surprised by, honestly, was just how low the median household income was in Los Angeles.
When you said it, it kind of caught me off guard, and I actually had to look at your screen because, you know, I've talked to several people. You know, Mike and I still have a lot of friends and family that live in the Southern California area. And, you know, one of the things that we hear all the time is, well, I'll make less money. I'll make so much less money in Las Vegas than I will here. But looking at it, you know, my friends aren't doctors and lawyers. They're, you know, they're blue collar guys, you know, maybe some mid-management type of guys. It sounds like really it would be, you're actually making less there.
Yeah.
After taxes and all that good stuff versus living in Las Vegas and making a little bit less on your check. That just blows my mind.
Yeah,
so I really feel like that myth can kind of be debunked if you put pen to paper and you look at the numbers.
Yeah, and that's really what you need to do. If you are making this decision, right, you really do need to put your pen to paper. You need to run the numbers, and you need to look very carefully at the decision that you're making, because there are a lot of factors that go into this. And yes, Southern California has lots of great things to offer. Justin and I talk about it all the time. We have actually had to have a conversation between us because we feel like we're a little bit too much of hype men for Southern California, because we do love it. We are natives, we are from there, we visit there regularly. And in some of our videos, we actually cheer maybe a little bit too hard for Southern California because of our affinity for the area that we grew up in. But the reality is that there is just so much that Las Vegas has going for it that Southern California can't hold a candle to, especially when you talk about things like cost of living, and when you talk about the housing market, and when you talk about just the overall quality of life that you can maintain while making a substantially lower income. Yeah. So, you know, Las Vegas has a lot to offer, and you need to keep that in mind.
And not really even a substantially lower income.
No, not really.
And you know, like, you know, to Mike's point, I think we had to realize that our memories are much greater than the realities.
Well, and sometimes I get reminded of that when I'm down there visiting.
Exactly, exactly.
But talking about cost of living, Justin, why don't you tell us how people are going to afford that cost of living, and let's talk about the relative job markets between the two cities.
All right, let's talk about it. Los Angeles, the greater Los Angeles area is much larger than Las Vegas and Henderson and North Las Vegas combined. So there's going to be a variety of jobs in those areas. I was kind of surprised when I looked up, hey, who are the biggest employers in Southern California? Could you take a guess?
Biggest employers of Southern California in Los Angeles?
The greater Los Angeles area. I would never have guessed it in a million years.
I'm going to guess so I'm not going to say specific companies, but I would say industries. I know that the defense contracting industry is absolutely gigantic there. Mm-hmm. I actually did some work in that area when I was a defense contractor, so I've been to the Raytheon headquarters and the Boeing headquarters down there doing work back in another life. And probably the universities there are probably massive employers.
Yeah, close. I was surprised, and I'm going to just tell you right now because you're not even close.
What do you got?
Kaiser Permanente.
I was so
Largest employer.
So healthcare was going to be my next answer.
Was it? Yeah,
healthcare was going to be my
Kaiser
next answer.
Permanente is the largest employer in the Southern California, Los Angeles area.
That is very, very surprising.
It was surprising. Now, most of the jobs are going to be management and office and administrative work, sales and transportation. Defense industry contracting was up there. Matter of fact, my grandfather used to work at a place called Sergeant Fletcher, and they made bombs.
Very cool.
And it was right off the 10 freeway, and I always thought, well, that's not safe. They're making bombs right on the side of the freeway, but hey, you know.
What are you going to do?
He retired, he had all his fingers, all his toes. So I was really kind of surprised that Kaiser Permanente was one of the larger employers. And I know that you already talked about the average income there. But again, there is a variety of jobs in the Los Angeles and Southern California area. If you're in Los Angeles or in the greater Los Angeles area, or if you're from there, you know. Just because you may live in Los Angeles doesn't mean you're working there. There's proof every morning and every afternoon when you're driving an hour and a half to go 7 or 8 miles.
You know, and I know that this is not typically a point of discussion during these versus videos, but I would argue that the traffic in Los Angeles is so significant that we would be remiss not to mention it in this video. Does Las Vegas have traffic? Absolutely. But man, we don't have anything that holds a candle to even the average. The worst day of traffic in Las Vegas is better than the average day of traffic in Southern California and Los Angeles, to be specific. Yes. And it's another factor that you need to think about when you're making that decision, because I know people who live in Southern California who spend upwards of 3 hours a day sitting in their car, and they're not going that far.
No.
So.
And it's, you know, and I've seen, and I'm sure you have too, but I've seen the videos and I've read the stories and the news. It talks about it all the time. When you live in a high traffic area that doesn't have fantastic public transportation, you know, I give LA a lot of credit. They're really trying. You know, your workday becomes a 10 or 11 hour workday, and it takes away from the things that you enjoy, your family, your friends, you know, your sleep, and changes your habits. Mike and I, being family guys, we value those moments with our children. We value those moments with our families and our friends. So if you do too, that's something you may want to consider, is the traffic.
You know, I thought about that before because, you know, of course, being Southern California native, I've thought about, you know, what would it be like if I were to move back there? And even now with my current job as a real estate agent, I just think about how much time I would spend just going from one showing to another. Yeah. Right? Hours upon hours on a daily basis, just getting from one client to another client. And I just can't picture myself doing that. I can't picture myself spending that much of my day sitting in my car or putting that sort of wear and tear on my car. Just for me personally, it just doesn't work. I would only move back to Southern California if I had either a sufficient amount of passive income that I no longer had to actively work, or if I had some sort of a work from home position, or if I had a job where my office was within a mile or so of my home. Outside of those specific parameters, there's no way I would do it. I don't choose to live my life sitting in my car.
Yeah, and I can kind of give you a personal story on that. You know, several years ago, I actually moved back to Southern California to get my real estate license. That's another topic for another day, but we know the bureaucracy of California, so that was an involved process. So I knew I was going to be down there for a while. I was staying in Yorba Linda in Orange County. Mm-hmm. My mom lives in Rancho Cucamonga in San Bernardino County.
Yeah, that's a hoof.
You know what? It was 23 miles. The first time I went up to visit her, it took a little over 2 hours. And I said, Mom, I love you, but if you want to see me, you're going to meet me halfway because I can't do this. It's 4 hours of my day.
And for reference, that's about the same distance as from my house up here in Northwest Las Vegas down to, say, Green Valley in Henderson. A trip I make regularly in about 30 minutes.
Yeah. And it's not only just the time. It's if you're anything like me, it's the frustration. Yeah, of sitting in that traffic and watching what's happening around you. You know, I turn into a different person when I'm in the car. Luckily, I have my daughter now, so she's definitely tempered my attitude when I'm in the car. So, but anyway, I don't want to get too far off because, again, we love California. California's just not right for us. California might be right for you. We don't want to bash it too much. Let's talk about some of the employers here in Las Vegas. Obviously, some of the major employers are going to be the casinos, the gaming companies, MGM, Grand, Boyd, Stations. Those are going to be some of the bigger employers in town, and they do pay fairly well.
Yeah, make a good living.
Make a very good living. Most of those are unionized jobs, so they're going to come with health care. They're going to come with paid time off. You're going to come with those union protections that you get. But Las Vegas has a burgeoning tech scene. Yeah. There are so many tech companies out here that have started coming and really booming and growing. And we both know that tech jobs tend to pay on the higher end.
And much like Southern California, a very, very large and growing healthcare
very much
economy.
It's funny is that Vegas is they're really trying to turn Vegas into a what do they call it, a healthcare destination.
Medical tourism.
Yeah, medical tourism. So you're starting to see a lot of cosmetic surgeons show up here, not only for the body, but cosmetic dentists, doctors of that sort, and offices are popping up everywhere. So yeah, we're starting to see a lot of different types of employers move out here. One thing that we really haven't talked about before, and I wanted to bring this up, I saw a news report the other day, and then I kind of Googled it in Forbes, on Forbes. And what Forbes said is that Southern Nevada in general, but Southern Nevada specifically, top 10 in entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
That struck home to me because we just started a business about a little over a year ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got another one myself as well.
We've actually started 2 in the last year.
Right. And, there's a lot of reasons for that because, for one thing, like we already said, taxes, right? Las Vegas is a very business-friendly city, and Nevada is a business-friendly state. California, conversely, is not a business-friendly state.
They were the bottom 10 in entrepreneurship.
Right. And then within California, Los Angeles is probably one of the least business-friendly cities. Now, there's a lot of reasons for that, and we don't want to get into that. That's not what we do here. But if you're looking to start a business, or if you're an entrepreneur, or you're looking to have a side hustle, I'm going to tell you right now, as somebody who owns 2 businesses and who's busting their butt every single day to try to grow those businesses, I think, I'm very thankful for the fact that I'm here where I am, where I feel supported by my community and by the local government that allows me to do what I need to do to grow my business. And I know, like Justin said, we have plenty of friends and family who still live in Southern California. And I know some people down there who are trying to do some of the same things that we're trying to do. And man, it's a lot rougher for them because of the regulatory environment and because of the taxes, and it's just a tougher road to hoe.
So if you have that entrepreneurial spirit, definitely think about taking a look at Nevada and Las Vegas in general. If you have questions about that, comment down below or reach out to us. Mike and I will be more than happy to talk to you about our experience in starting our business and Mike starting his 2 businesses. And see if it's something that we can help you with along the way, as far as your home buying, maybe using some of that equity if you're leaving Southern California to start your business.
Absolutely.
So the job market, I would say, is vastly different. Obviously, we keep getting sidetracked in the job market. Is vastly different, but still similar. You're going to have plenty of opportunities. Las Vegas is a very hungry job market for skilled workers. Construction, we're in a construction boom. You can't go a couple of blocks without seeing some new community or some new warehouse or business being built. So there's definitely that. And then again, like we talked about, the service industry out here is always in demand. Sales, always in demand. Management positions in healthcare, always growing. And of course, that tech scene.
Lots of healthcare jobs.
Lots of healthcare jobs.
If you're in the healthcare industry and you're looking for a place to relocate, you should really look at Las Vegas. And I'm going to say this real quickly. I don't want to go too far down this rabbit trail because it's going to be another video that we do. But we're going to go ahead and do another video talking about Las Vegas myths.
Yeah.
Because one of the myths that I'm hearing, and I see it in the comments of our videos, is that healthcare in Las Vegas is garbage. Yeah. And maybe that was true 20 years ago, but that is definitively not true today. Las Vegas has made great strides in expanding its healthcare, getting better healthcare, better facilities, better doctors, better supporting staff, and they're continuing to grow. So if you're in the medical industry and you're looking for a new home, consider Las Vegas because there's jobs here, good paying jobs in great facilities that are really doing the best that they can to take care of their patients. All right, guys, moving on to the next topic, we are going to talk about the relative crime rates of these 2 cities. And I was actually kind of surprised by what I found when I did my research. I am using the US News crime statistics for both cities. And as you guys know, if you've seen any of these videos in the past, Las Vegas is pretty safe, actually. On a scale of 1 to 10, US News ranks Las Vegas as an 8, and our violent crime rate is just slightly higher than average at 517 violent crimes per 100,000 people, with our property crime rate is actually about 2,900 per 100,000 people. So, you know, not the best numbers in the world. Las Vegas is a big metropolitan city. It's going to have big metropolitan city problems. It is what it is. Justin and I tell you guys all the time, we both live here. We both have daughters. We both feel perfectly safe here. Are there areas that I wouldn't walk around at night by myself? Sure, but you could say that about any large city if you have any sort of wits about you. Overall, Las Vegas is a pretty safe city, and I don't feel, you know, that it's dangerous. Obviously, I choose to live here, and so do many other people. So, you know, the numbers are what the numbers are. Looking at Los Angeles's numbers, while they're not quite as good as Las Vegas's, they're actually a little better than I expected, if I'm being honest. Scale of 1 to 10, US News has Los Angeles as a 7.8, so just a few percentage points below Las Vegas, with their violent crime rate being a little bit higher than ours, 795 per 100,000, and their property crime rate is just a little bit lower than ours at 2,500 per 100,000. So again, not the Los Angeles of the 90s or the 80s
and 90s, yeah.
Right? They have really cleaned up that city in a lot of ways, but you also have to talk about the homeless problem that Los Angeles has, which is the worst homeless problem in the nation right now, bar none. No discussion about it. Los Angeles's homeless problem is completely out of control. We're not going to talk about that a whole bunch, guys. If you have a television set that gets the news, you know what's going on in Los Angeles. Look into it. Now, does that encompass the entirety of the city or the entirety of Los Angeles County? Absolutely not. We spend a bunch of time down in Southern California, and have I seen it with my own eyes? Yes, I have. Is it everywhere that you go? No, it's not. So is it a big problem that they really need to figure out and that community needs to come together and solve? Absolutely. Does it affect the daily lives of everybody who lives in that city? No, it doesn't. So take that for what you will. Of course, Las Vegas has its fair share of homeless as well. And we as a community are doing what we can to solve that problem, but it's a really hard problem to solve. And I don't envy anybody whose job it is to figure that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
But on to something more fun.
Yeah, that was depressing.
That was depressing. So let's talk about something fun now.
Okay.
Justin, why don't you tell us about the nightlife and dining in these two cities?
I mean, as you can see, I'm a huge nightlife guy. I'm a party guy, right? I mean, every night, if that party happens before 10 p.m., I'm there. If it happens after 10, I'm sorry, it's not happening. No, honestly, out of all the cities that we've talked about, Los Angeles has probably come the closest in comparing to what Las Vegas has to offer.
Yeah, for
as
sure.
far as the nightclub scene, the party scene, the restaurants, and the vibe. To me, I still think Las Vegas, hands down, is the nightlife capital of the world.
I agree.
The entertainment capital of the world. But, you know, definitely Los Angeles has those pockets and those areas that definitely challenge what Las Vegas has to offer.
It is one of the few cities that can compete on nightlife with Las Vegas.
But as I was thinking about this, actually just moments ago, I was thinking about it. I've been to a dozen concerts in Southern California, from Glen Helen Amphitheater in San Bernardino to the Rose Bowl in Pasadena to the Hollywood Bowl, and I grew up in Covina, California.
My very first concert was at the Forum.
There you go, the Forum.
Metallica.
Yes, there you go. And I'm thinking about it now, sitting in my home in Covina, California, how long would it take me to get to the Hollywood Bowl?
Hour and a half to 2 hours?
At least. Now, if I wanted to go to a concert at the Sphere here in Las Vegas, it would take me 30 minutes.
That's including parking.
That's including parking. So while it does compare and comes really close, you have to look at all the variables, the costs, the time it's going to take you to get there, the environment that you're going to be in. I don't know if I'd want to go to the Forum. Actually, you know what? The Forum, that area has actually kind of been revitalized with SoFi Stadium now.
So I just went to the Forum last year to go see a pro wrestling show.
Okay, there you go.
Went to the Forum to go see AEW Dynamite and had an absolute blast. And it was quite different than it was when I went there back in the 90s to go see that Metallica concert. And of course, I've also been to SoFi Stadium to see a Rams game. And the presence of that stadium and the, for lack of a better term, gentrification that stadium has brought has really cleaned that area up. Now, would I wander around on foot too far from those facilities? Probably not. Not if I'm not a local from there, but it is substantially cleaner and safer than it was back in the 90s, back in the early 2000s.
Well, and one of my passions, I guess it kind of falls into entertainment and nightlife. One of my passions is college football. I love college football. I've been to many, many games at the Rose Bowl, and I've been to many games at the Coliseum.
I love the Coliseum.
Now, Mike and I are both huge Rams fans. And when the Rams moved back to LA, I can tell you I was almost in tears. I was so excited because I knew I was going to get to go to games. That first season, we went to the very first home preseason game and we tailgated. We spent half of the time tailgating, and this is not an exaggeration, we spent half the time tailgating fending off the homeless, trying to keep them out of our tailgate area. The Coliseum is just not a place I would feel comfortable going to again. That area is just not someplace that I feel safe, which is sad because it's attached to one of the greatest universities this country has in USC. But as far as nightlife and entertainment, they're very comparable. I think that you can get the same quality food in Las Vegas as you can in Los Angeles, and you can still get, and Mike will attest to this, people are gonna say, oh, well, Vegas doesn't have Chinatown, Vegas doesn't have this, Vegas doesn't have that. Vegas has all those things. If you're a foodie, Vegas is your paradise. I promise you that.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%, hands down. Vegas is, I would argue, one of the top food cities in the entire United States. And that's not just me saying that. Go ask any professional chef, go ask any celebrity chef. First of all, they all have their restaurants here. And then the food that you can get, first of all, yes, we do have a Chinatown.
We do, but people don't know that.
People don't know that. And the food that you can find in our Chinatown is absolutely amazing. And, look, don't take my word for it. David Chang, famous celebrity chef David Chang, says that you can get the best Chinese food in America in Las Vegas.
Interesting.
Right? So, what do I know? I sell houses and real estate photos for a living. David Chang sells Chinese food for a living, and he says the best Chinese food is found here in Las Vegas. Our food scene is amazing here.
So once we eat all that food, how do we work it off?
So we're going to work it off with some outdoor living. So outdoor living, we're going to talk about outdoor living in Los Angeles. We're going to talk about outdoor living in Las Vegas. Listen, guys, if you guys have watched this Versus series, you guys know what Las Vegas brings to the table, right? We have a surprisingly broad range of options for outdoor living. And those things include, we have Red Rocks, where you have some phenomenal hiking, absolutely fantastic rock climbing, some world-class rock climbing. We have rock climbers that come here specifically to train at a world-class level.
And they end up moving here and living here.
They do indeed. We have Lake Mead, which is one of the best outdoor recreation areas in the nation as far as I'm concerned. I grew up water skiing there. I grew up camping there. I absolutely love it. As well as the Colorado River, as well as Mount Charleston and the hiking that you can do up there. But at the end of the day, Las Vegas is located in the desert. So you are going to be limited in the number of outdoor things that you can do to the things that you can do in this kind of lake, desert, mountainous environment.
And I think it really depends on if that's your, because I know I grew up with people in Southern California who, that's all they did was the desert.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were out on their dirt bikes or their quads, their side-by-sides. That was the lifestyle that they had.
Yeah, for sure. And same thing, growing up in Ontario, we had people that were river rats, man. They would go, their thing was they're going to go to Needles or they're going to go to Havasu. We were just talking about Havasu earlier today. I grew up going to Havasu, camping, water skiing, going to jump off point. That's the kind of stuff that I did growing up as a kid. So yes, we do have outdoor living here. It is going to be hiking, it's going to be cycling, it's going to be rock climbing, boating on the lake, that sort of thing. They're great, fantastic options. Also, you guys know, of course, we're going to talk a little bit about golf. We have phenomenal golf here, very, very reasonably priced. That's one of the things that I love about Las Vegas.
Much more affordable.
Much, much more affordable. Los Angeles, you're going to have different options. You're going to have a broader range of options. A couple reasons for that. Number one, Los Angeles has the ocean.
Yeah.
It is what it is. We can't compete with that. They have the ocean. So anything ocean related, you're going to be able to do there. You got, you have surfing, you have sailing, you have fishing, you have all of those things. You have beach volleyball, you have the boardwalks that run along the water there where people go out and do exercise. There's so many options for the beach lifestyle that Los Angeles has to offer. In addition to that, a lot of people don't realize just how vast the mountains are just right there in Los Angeles, right? You have the mountains that come with camping and hiking, and they're filled with lakes where you can go fishing. You have all of the roads up there, like the Angeles Crest Highway, which is very, very famous for motorcycle rides and for you know, taking your sports car to go drive through the twisties. So you have all of those options. Along with that, you have places like Griffith Park, where you're going to have all of the amenities that Griffith Park has, along with the observatory, the famous Griffith Park Observatory. One place I'm actually really excited. I'm planning to take my kids there this year. So
oh, then Ben?
Really, no, not yet. Really looking forward to doing that.
They should.
But yeah, outdoor life in California is, of course, fantastic. It's part of the reason that that cost of living is so crazy high. It's part of the reason that despite all of the negatives that Southern California comes with, people still choose to live there is because of the outdoor living. And you just can't argue that. You know, you got to give credit where it's due. When it comes to a physical location, I've said this before on other videos, and I've said this before in just general conversation in real life. When it comes to actual physical locations, it is very, very difficult to beat Southern California for everything that it offers, between the mountains, between the ocean, between the, you know, the alpha city that is Los Angeles with its cultural enrichment and Hollywood and the amusement parks and just so much to offer. There is a lot to offer there, but man, you are going to pay for it.
And we are going to take a little bit of their thunder though with the movie studios.
We are.
Universal Studios is building out here. They're doing their monster verse. They're going to have a huge monsterverse theme park here in Las Vegas coming in the near future.
Really? That's
Yes.
interesting.
I think they said 2027. It's going to be by Area 15.
Oh, I love Area 15.
Yes. So, kind of just to piggyback off of what Mike said, we don't want to keep you guys that much longer. If the beach and the mountains is really what are really your daily or weekly lifestyle, we're really not here for you. Vegas isn't going to be that spot for you. If you're going to the beach, you know, every other month or maybe a couple of times during the summer, and the same thing with the mountains,
It's a 4-hour drive.
it's a 4-hour drive. All those great amenities that Mike talked about that Los Angeles has, he just said it himself. He's taking his daughters to Griffith Observatory. You probably go to the beach while you're there.
Definitely. Gonna catch an Angels game.
Yeah, I was just down there a few months ago, hit Catalina Island. I plan on taking my daughter to Disneyland this summer. So we still have access to all that. It's a little bit farther of a drive. But all the money that we spend getting down there on gas and hotels and food and tickets, still in the long run, we're saving that money because we're not living in Southern California.
Oh yeah, the trade-off's not even comparable.
Yeah. So definitely keep that in mind. Mike, why don't you get us out of this video?
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up right here. So remember, if you guys need help with lending questions, reach out to our good friends and lending partners, Steve Schauer and Linda Vo at Security National Mortgage. They're the best in the business. We trust all of our clients to them. They can help you whether you're ready to buy right now or whether you're just trying to find out where you stand. They can give you the information you need. They can tell you what rate you're going to be able to qualify for. They're going to tell you what amount you're going to be able to qualify for. If you're not where you need to be, they can give you the roadmap to get you there so that you can get from where you are right now to where you can qualify to buy that dream home that you have been looking for your entire life. Those guys can get you there. And once they get your finances straight, come see Justin and I. We here at the Moody Olson team, we are here to make sure that you can find your dream home, and we're going to fight for you so that you can get it for the right price. We're here to work for you harder than anybody else. I can promise you that.
And if you decide that, you know, Los Angeles is the place for you, and you're not there yet, or you're looking to buy in Los Angeles, reach out to Mike and I as well, because we do know some fantastic realtors in that area that are definitely going to be able to take care of you and get you the best price for your home. If you are thinking about relocating to Las Vegas and you already own in the Los Angeles or Southern California area, reach out to us as well. We can set you up with some realtors so you can start interviewing them to list your home right away.
Remember guys, whether you're moving here next week, next month, or next year, the Moody Olson team is here for you. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Smash the bell icon so you get notified whenever we put out new videos. We put out 2 a week of the best local Las Vegas-based real estate content that we can provide, making sure that you're an informed buyer when it comes time for you to make those decisions. And until the next time, I'm Mike.
I'm Justin.
And we're out.